Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Year in Review. I'm Martin False. A lot of events took place and shaped our lives right here in the HTV viewing area. We'll take a look at the first 4 months now of what took place, once again, right here in our own backyard. In January, a helicopter crashed in Lafourche Parish, killing the pilot and the passenger on board. An eyewitness called the sheriff's office after seeing the helicopter nosedive into the mud.
We were notified of a potential helicopter crash in the Grand Bayou Pontchartrain Reserve area of Lafourche Parish. It appears that the aircraft nosedived and then basically sunk into the mud. So there's very little of the aircraft above the waterline. You can tell where some of the floats on the side of the helicopter.
Also in January, the Regional Military Museum in Houma dedicated a wing to museum founder C.J. Christ for his many years of service to the museum.
This gallery, with all that hangs from its ceilings, adorning its walls, and parked around us, will forever be known as the C.J. Christ wing of the Regional Military Museum. Thank you, C.J.
Now let's take a look at February. As COVID restrictions continue to be relaxed, Mardi Gras celebrations returned to area streets in 2022. As usual, Mardi Gras kicked off with the crew of Hercules. Lieutenant Governor Billy Nungesser was chosen as Grand Marshal of the crew.
I've ridden in a lot of parades. This is the best time I've ever had. The crowd has been amazing. The friendliest people in the world live down here on the bayou.
The crew also honored veterans right here on the balcony at HTV.
What do veterans mean to you? There's nothing I won't do for our veterans. You know, we are so honored today to have the Louisiana Feed Your Soul float in this parade with some of our brave men and women, our veterans.
Continuing with February, Thibodeau Family Church continued its efforts with the Tim Tebow Foundation's Night to Shine program for special needs individuals. While COVID restrictions limited the event to small groups, members of Thibodeau Family Church fanned out around the community to make special deliveries. Night to Shine party supplies and gifts were handed to participants to celebrate the event in their own special way.
We got you a pretty flower for tomorrow. And we got you your crown.
Oh, pretty.
So we have a bunch of nice stuff in here for you. So happy Night to Shine.
Now let's hop on over to March. Following the search for a new superintendent, the Terrebonne Parish School Board selected Assistant Superintendent Bubba Angeron as its new superintendent.
I want to ultimately serve our kids and our schools, and I want kids to succeed beyond their time with us, so that when they get out beyond us, they can compete and succeed and do well.
The move came after last year's announcement of the retirement of Superintendent Philip Martin. Also in March, Terrebonne Parish dedicated the Houma Terrebonne Civic Center to former parish president Barry Bonvillain.
He will always be part of Terrebonne Parish. He's the one helped make Terrebonne Parish. It's really, really a good tribute to him to name the Civic Center.
March also brought us to a major goodbye. The Diocese of Houma-Thibodaux and Catholic community said goodbye to Bishop Shelton Fabre. Pope Francis appointed Bishop Fabre as the 5th Archbishop of the Archdiocese of Louisville.
I am proud of having, in my own way, focus the diocese on the parishes. We are there as a diocese to serve the parishes. That's where people meet Christ. They meet Christ in their local church parish. And
in the sports world, March was big for Ellender's girls basketball. The Ellender High School girls basketball team won the state class 4A championship in Hammond. The girls dedicated their 6th state championship to former coach Kenneth Dixon, who passed away last season.
Man, Coach Dixon, we love you and we appreciate everything that you put in front of us. I appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. And it's only the beginning. We're gonna keep the legacy alive.
And now, what did April 2022 bring to our area? Following the departure of now Archbishop Shelton Fobb, the Diocese of Houma-Thibodaux selected Father P.J. Madden to serve as diocesan administrator until the Pope selects a new bishop for the Diocese of Houma-Thibodaux.
God has blessed me with this, and my brother priests have trusted me to invite me by election, I might add, and by unanimous election to this position. I do feel rejuvenated.
Also in April, Terrebonne Parish kicked off a year-long celebration for its 200th anniversary. Each month, special sessions were held to highlight different aspects of Terrebonne Parish culture, business, education, entertainment, and government.
What a great celebration, 200 years of Terrebonne Parish.
In order for us to see where we're going, we have to look back at where we've come from and where we've been. And I think this series is going to give us a good indication of what 200 years ago, people in Terrebonne Parish might have been thinking.
April would also mark the first anniversary of the Secor Power capsizing in the Gulf of Mexico. Family and friends gathered in Port Fourchon to remember the victims that were added to the Lady of the Gulf statue in Port Fourchon.
We're equipped to handle tragic events, hurricanes, severe weather events, but none of us were given the ability to deal with something like this.
Continuing our look in April, the Bayou Community Foundation celebrated the completion of the first homes with its home rebuilding program post-Hurricane Ida. The foundation's goal is to help residents build more resilient housing with the help of donations and Mennonite labor.
Through grants from our Bayou Recovery Fund, Bayou Community Foundation will continue to help residents repair, rebuild, and return to Terrebonne, Lafourche, and Grand Isle.
We'll be right back with the next 4 months, so don't go away.
Terrebonne General Health System, where medical science meets the art of caring, is committed to providing the latest advances in medical technology with a gentle, caring touch. This is evident in our high-tech, high-touch approach to healthcare. As a trusted healthcare resource, we deliver both life-saving, compassionate inpatient services and life-changing preventive care, while also providing wellness needs and outreach throughout the Bayou region. To learn about how Terrebonne General is providing innovative healthcare solutions, visit tghealthsystem.com.
Exciting news from Barker Honda. Introducing the all-new 2023 Honda CRV. A new rugged design, longer, wider, with a significantly broader stance. Spacious interior with more premium high-tech features. More second-row legroom comfort. Plus, larger rear cargo space with power tailgate. Hurry in and see the all-new, larger 2023 CRV now in stock at Barker Honda, your local President's Elite Award-winning dealer.
I'm Chris St. Martin.
And I'm Chuck Bork.
Truth is, nobody wants to hire an attorney. If you're coming to us, it's probably one of the most difficult times in your life.
But it's also true that if you've been injured, you need someone to explain your rights.
Since 1967, St. Martin and Bork has been helping the people of South Louisiana understand their rights. If you've been injured and want to know more about your rights, call us for a free consultation today.
Here at Rouse's, we have our own brands of products which you'll find down every aisle of our stores. These are the best quality at the best price. They compare to the national brands we sell, but at a lower cost. Most are made right here, but we travel the world too. And we personally taste test and guarantee every item. So if our name's on the label, you can trust it's good. Rouse's brand, best quality at the best price.
And welcome back to the Year in Review. I'm Martin False. We now take a look at the months May through August as we recount some of the news stories that we felt were on top of the list this year. In May, a Louisiana wildlife and fisheries agent rescues a 7-year-old girl on Grand Isle after their boat capsized. Agent Stephen Rhodes was on patrol in the area and with the help of bystanders was able to locate the girl and perform life-saving CPR.
when she came back was those eyes came into focus and looked out, and I knew she was back. I put my hand on her chest and you could feel her heart beat and feel her chest rise.
Also in May, not one, but 2 state high school baseball champions were crowned in the local area. South Terrebonne and Vanderbilt Catholic took top honors in their respective classifications and divisions.
You know, it's easy to play and do stuff when you're up in a baseball game, but when you're down and things are not going your way, like calls like that, Coach Batto, said it earlier in the year, the Gators are never out of it. And man, he could have never been more right.
They knew the plan, they knew they had value, they knew they had to lock in. We all had a vital role in making this thing happen. And so, everybody, I think, executed their role and just got after it to the best of their ability. It was our turn.
Vanderbilt Catholic girls track team won its 2nd state title in Class 4A.
Track and field is one of those last remaining sports in the LHSAA that's combined. So you really get the true state champion when you are competing against both your select schools and your non-select schools. So
Terrebonne Parish honored state champions this year with a celebration at the Civic Center, which I had the privilege of emceeing. I've been covering sports on HTV for a long time. I can't tell you the amount of state championships that we've had over the years, but to have this many state champions in one room in 1 year is incredible. It's unbelievable. We also had other state championships in the area. We now show you parts of those where we honored those winners on our program. We got some state champs up here, national champs up here, and Coach, first of all, you need to be commended for where you brought the program. Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Like I said, I started in 2018 as an interim, not really knowing the sport much myself. And I got to learn it along the way, and that following year, 2019, when I became the head coach, everybody up here were freshmen.
We have the U19 Blackhawks from Terrebonne Parish here, are going where no one has gone before, no one male anyway. They're going to the national championship tournament. They're one of 4 teams, so in the final 4 to possibly bring home a national championship.
We got players from almost every high school from Terrebonne Parish, from HL, Ellender, Vanderbilt, Terrebonne. We have players from Edie White from Lafourche Parish. Didn't know how the first of the year was going to really start off. You got a mixture of players, but they've all known each other since probably U8 playing soccer.
In June, state and local officials broke ground on the next phase of the Louisiana One Project in South Lafourche. The $450 million project will build the next section of bridge to connect Leeville with Golden Meadow via a long bridge.
And today is truly a glorious day. It's some 25 years in the making of people who have worked hard every day to see this project through, and I'm humbled and honored to stand here as probably the youngest guy in the group who has ever worked on this.
Another story that's a combined story throughout 2022, the delegation brought in billions of dollars to the area to help with projects. It was certainly an A+ for area legislators this year in the surrounding area.
To be number 2 in an historic amount of funding, I think it's a testament to the entire delegation who worked really hard together and kind of put ourselves in a position to steer that money there.
In education news in June, Terrebonne Parish School District officials celebrated the completion of additions to Mulberry Elementary. The additions will allow the school to eliminate portable buildings on the campus and add much-needed pickup and drop-off areas for students.
On the 18 classrooms plus a band hall, this area we're in, and if you notice what Mulberry has never had, and it's always been a nightmare, is an unloading and loading area that it's covered, it's paved, there's entrance, there's exits.
Also, the Terrebonne Parish School District took time to honor and dedicate the mall of Southdown Elementary to former Superintendent James Charles.
To see all of you here today lets me know that my father's living has not and was not in vain.
July turned out to be a tragic time for our area. 2-year-old Ezekiel Harry was found dead after allegedly dying at the hands of those in his own house. After the discovery, Houma police arrested the mother and her boyfriend for murder. Dana Coleman explains the story at a press conference and how they disposed of the body.
Based on the information released by Maya Jones and intel received by law enforcement, we were able to immediately learn that her accounts of what was being reported were false. At this point, our investigators suspected foul play, and it was our immediate goal to find 2-year-old Ezekiel Harry. As you all know, around 6 p.m., we located the lifeless body of Ezekiel Harry on Dasper Street.
Prosecutors are seeking the death penalty in this case.
It just shocks the conscience that this type of abuse would go on, and it certainly would establish that this case is a death penalty case.
In the wake of the tragedy, the community came together at a candlelight vigil and at the funeral of Ezekiel Harry, where hundreds of motorcycles and vehicles lined Canal Boulevard in Thibodaux to pay their respect to the young child. The tragedy also increased awareness about child abuse. In response, State Senator Mike Fazee is proposing a new law called Ezekiel's Law that would help protect children from child abuse.
And as a legislature up at the state capitol, I'll be glad to do whatever we can to fix the problem, and I want to call it Ezekiel's Law.
Moving to July, problems with homeowners insurance developed as several companies started to increase rates or drop policyholders after the 2 previous years of hurricanes affecting the state. Some insurance companies folded or were taken over by the state.
Now, the effect of those storms and those 800,000 claims has been significant on our property insurance market. On the homeowner side, we lost 6 companies to insolvency over the past year.
Let's take you to August, where we, unfortunately, had to recall the fiercest hurricane to ever hit our area in modern history. We remember the 1-year anniversary of Hurricane Ida. HTV took you back to hard-hit areas for an update 1 year after the storm.
It's a year that's right now it's up. Things are getting better, and it's amazing. We had 2,700 homes that was damaged. We're going to pick up like 72 of them that's got to be demolished as we speak.
I really think deep down inside, everybody gave it their best shot, because we were really hit by one of the worst storms that I've ever seen. And hopefully we never get hit again.
We're getting there. We're pretty much done. A little bit lattice around the bottom. And
yeah, everything's looking good.
A little finishing touches here.
How's your shop doing?
We had to put new doors on it, a new roof on the house, the shed, air conditioned it.
We're still alive. We're still waiting. So
yeah,
every day, one day after another.
Yeah.
So we work on the house a little bit, and then we'll go crabbing another day. So
yeah,
we're still alive.
Don't go away. September through December is next on the Year in Review.
AJ Doman Chevrolet is your one-stop shop for all your new, used, and medium-duty Chevrolet needs. The 23s are arriving daily, and now's your chance to save on all remaining inventory. Buy with confidence with lifetime warranties on all used cars at no additional charge.
Tired of being told no? We say yes at AJ Doman Chevrolet at the foot of the Market City Bridge in Berwick.
AJ Doman Chevrolet, the dealership that works for you.
Lifetime warranties excluded on certain units.
Whether it's your home or your business, BioPure specializes in disinfection application, along with water, fire, mold damage cleanup. Call BioPure today to get your free consultation at 985-322-3003.
Structural heart disease refers to a defect in the heart's valves, walls, or chambers that keeps the heart from pumping blood properly. Valve or structural heart problems may be present at birth or develop over time. Your risk increases if you have high blood pressure, plaque buildup, history of heart attack, take certain medications, or have certain heart infections. The Structural Heart Program at CIS and Terrebonne General provides innovative solutions and devices with the latest technology to bring the best possible outcomes for patients. Learn more at cardio.com.
Here at South Louisiana Bank, we support our neighbors, the organizers, the helpers, the leaders, the dreamers. We support those that move our community forward. Louisiana has grown from the dedication, commitment, and loyalty of the people who call this beautiful place home. We are proud to offer our services to the communities in South Louisiana. South Louisiana Bank. It's better when we bank together.
BCG Services, local experts for concrete leveling and foundation repair, providing quality solutions for a variety of foundation issues. With years of experience applying FloorShield products to both homes and businesses, you can trust our team to provide high-quality results. Call for a free consultation.
And welcome back as we continue to look at some of the top stories that shaped our area for this year, 2022. We now look at the month September through December as we recount some of the top stories. In September, the mother of an 18-month-old child was arrested after allegedly throwing the child into Bayou Terrebonne. She then jumped in to save the child. 30-year-old Asha Randolph was charged with attempted first-degree murder.
Shortly before 5 o'clock p.m. on Friday, our officers responded to the Liberty Street Bridge, and when they arrived, the child had already been removed from the water. But what they learned was the mother intentionally threw her 18-month-old child over the bridge and into Bayou Terrebonne. Why? We may never know. There's no acceptable motive for something like that.
In education news in September, Lafourche Parish schools were named a model of excellence by the state of Louisiana for science education. Officials celebrated the accomplishment with state and local education officials at Central Lafourche High School.
They're not just having students sit in their chair every day quietly and doing some type of activity, but they're encouraging their students to get out of their chairs, participate in hands-on activities to actually learn how science works and understand how math is the language of science. And further, they're not just thinking about science generally, they're thinking about science in a context of what is necessary and needed here in this particular part of the world to prepare students for jobs beyond their experience here at within the Lafourche Parish public system.
Also in September, Terrebonne Parish school officials heard from residents in the Grand Caillou community to decide the future of Grand Caillou Elementary School. The school has been closed since Hurricane Ida.
Our kids need to be back at Grand Caillou Elementary. If they're in town, they're not Grand Caillou.
Okay.
They're not, and it's sad.
After hearing the pleas of the residents, the school board voted to rebuild the hurricane-damaged campus in Grand Caillou pending approval by FEMA. Now on to October, where officials broke ground for a new pump station along the Mississippi River in Donaldsonville. The new pump station will allow the Bayou Lafourche Freshwater District to pump more water into Bayou Lafourche.
But today we're breaking ground on the single most important and transformative project in our effort to restore the bayou to its former glory. And just over the levee behind me is the site of the new pump station. It will triple the amount of river water sent down the bayou. It will restore the marshes that offer critical protection from hurricanes to southeast Louisiana. It will protect drinking water for almost 10% of the residents of our state that rely upon the Bayou Lafourche.
Continuing in November, voters in the Bayou area headed to the polls to elect a new First Circuit Court of Appeals judge, following the retirement of Chief Judge Vanessa Whipple.
On October 6, 1990, I was elected to my first term. And the way that I was elected to my first term is because people in this parish took a chance on a young lawyer who wanted to make a few changes in the way things were done. And you sent me to Baton Rouge. I promised that I would work hard, and I hope that I have fulfilled that promise. I try to treat people fairly in my court, and I'm proud of the people that I've worked with. And many of them have passed away. I'm the only judge still on my court from when I started, which is why I'm the chief. That's just a fancy way of saying I'm an old broad on the court.
Voters elected Lafourche Parish Judge Steve Miller over State Representative Tanner McGee to replace Judge Whipple.
My reticence may be attributable to knowing that the 17th had a well-earned reputation for hardworking, thoughtful, knowledgeable, and fair judges.
Also in Lafourche Parish, Voters elected local attorney Rebecca Robichaud to fill the remaining term of Judge John LeBlanc after he also retired early.
Today was worse than a wedding day, that all the abundance of emotions that went through. So I want to first thank my God that today would not have been possible without.
Voters in Thibodaux also elected Kevin Claymore as mayor after Mayor Tommy S.J. served 3 terms as mayor.
I couldn't be prouder of my family, my wife, my core team. It just worked out, and the good always wins.
Also in November, Terrebonne Parish Councilman John Navy resigned from the council to pursue a new position.
It's a bit of a sweet moment for me. I'm a little emotional right now about it, but I will be resigning my position as councilman for the next 12 to 13 months. I have accepted a position as a philanthropic organization, nonprofit organization, a humanitarian organization that does a lot of work in the United States of America, actually, and it's doing a lot of work that I do right now.
Following the resignation, the Terrebonne Parish Council voted to select former Councilman Alvin Tillman to fill Navy's seat on the council until a special election is held in the spring.
I'd like to thank you guys for taking the opportunity to give me this opportunity to serve for the next 90 days.
In the sports world in November, E.D. White Catholic's boys and girls teams take state titles at the state swim meet in Division III. Also in November, Vanderbilt Catholic's girls cross-country team cruised to a state title. In December, federal, state, and local officials celebrated the groundbreaking of the first federal commitment to the Morganza to the Gulf project. The first project is the Humboldt Canal Preload project, which would be the first step in constructing a new floodgate in Humboldt Canal.
If any project in America deserves to be a new start, it's this one. And so we were able to get that language in a few years ago and then get over $12 million to start it. And that's what we're celebrating today.
The project is just one of many that the federal government is expected to fund, as millions in dollars have been authorized through federal infrastructure bills that were passed in recent years.
We're approaching $500 million in federal investment now in this project, and it's all about getting them here, getting them to invest.
Well, that was a look at the year 2022. We appreciate you viewing and watching some of the stories and seeing what the top stories were for this year. Hopefully in the year 2023, we won't have as many tragic stories to report. There was certainly a good share of those in 2022. From the whole crew here at HTV, we wish you a happy new year and a successful 2023. Have a good night, everyone.